So to begin, would you like to just outline your role and responsibility as the Managing Director for the Yili Innovation Centre in Europe?
Yes, my name is Gerrit Smit. I joined Yili now 7.5 years ago to set up the Yili Innovation Centre Europe. My background is that I have a PhD in molecular microbiology and worked almost my entire career in food and particularly dairy R&D. I worked in the US, Netherlands and Finland before, in a couple of institutes and corporate companies before I joined Yili.
That's wonderful. So would you be able to just tell me a little bit more about Yili's Innovation Centre and its objectives?
Yeah, the Yili Innovation Centre Europe has been working now for almost 9 years to support the growth of Yili. It's based in Wageningen, the Netherlands, based on the campus of the Wageningen University. The Yili Innovation Centre Europe is active in research and development and plays an important role in Yili's relationship with the international communities of suppliers, universities and research institutes in the Western world.
Yili won in the World Food Innovation Awards this year in the packaging design category with their sateen, no printing, no ink, environmentally friendly edition. That sounds like quite an innovation to win a packaging category with no printing and no ink. Would you be able to tell me a little bit more about that product?
Yes, of course. It's a very interesting new development indeed. From the inner package to the outer box, the sateen's no printing, no ink, environmental friendly edition represents actually a low carbon and environment friendly concept, featuring minimalistic and premium design altogether. The inner package is designed in pure white without traditional ink printing, and the information, such as the product name and product production date and so forth, is laser printed. It uses FSC certified green packaging materials to help protect the forest ecosystem. It also uses a plant-based dream cap for the first time in the industry. Part of the raw material of the cap comes from the sugarcane, which can reduce the product's carbon footprint while maintaining its appearance and functionality. Then the outer box of the product is printed with reduced ink and has a concave and convex embossing process to maximize the visual presentation. And that conveys a sense of premium feeling in a minimalistic design. So 10 milk cartons of ordinary 250 ml Tetra Pak bricks are recycled and remade into new paper for the outer box, achieving a true sense of self-cycling. While the outer box also uses paper carrying handles to reduce the use of plastic. Every 100,000 outer boxes save approximately 260 kilograms of plastic. The design concept lies in our recognition that sustainable development is no longer a matter for the future, but a trend that we must pay urgent attention to. To keep the global warming below 1.5 degrees, as called for in the Paris Agreement, emissions need to be reduced by 45% in 2030 and reach net zero in 2050. In addition, environmental protection has become a key theme for brands to communicate with consumers. When it comes to green packaging, we usually think of replacing plastic bags and boxes with paper packaging. But what can we do to make the already paper-based milk carton even more environmental friendly? Satine started with printing technology and recycling packaging material. For World Environmental Day on June 5 last year, we first launched the no printing, no ink, environment-friendly edition of the satine product. By removing the label and using laser printing technologies to add the product information on the carton, plastic and ink are reduced, thereby reducing the carbon emissions. From the perspective of a single product, it may not bring many benefits in the short term, but viewed from the perspective of a dairy brand with an annual sales of over $16 billion, this new green packaging has practical, long-term significance. Beyond Yili itself, it is also necessary for more companies to work together. In April last year, we released the roadmap to a net zero carbon future, in which we put forward the goal of achieving industrial chain-wide carbon neutrality by 2050 and outlined specific tasks for us to achieve by 2030, 2040 and finally 2050.
Do you see this type of innovation spreading across other products within the Yili Group?
Yeah, we definitely see it wider, and we actually see it in the products itself, but also in the factories. We have now a couple of carbon zero factories built. So step by step, this will be rolled out.
That's brilliant. So Yili was not only just successful as a winner in one of our categories, but was also shortlisted as finalists and commended in a lot of other categories. One product of particular interest from our audience was the Shuha Sugar Control lacto-free milk. Would you be able to tell me a little bit more about this product?
The Shuha Sugar Control milk, that is a product which controls the sugar level, so to speak. And that is done because we know that there are over 500 million people with diabetes worldwide. And that accounts roughly for 7% of the total global population. In China alone, we talk about more than 140 million diabetic patients now. And unfortunately, China becomes the biggest diabetes country. Shuha brand is dedicated to address this issue. Now, after a number of years of R&D, research and development, Shuha plans to launch China's first sugar control milk. We aim to begin with at an age group of 45 to 60 to help support blood sugar management in this consumer group. And the product is scheduled to be launched by the end of this month. Shuha Sugar Control Milk continues to use the technology of Shuha lactose-free milk base, and then by a patented further hydrolysis, the lactose hydrolysis rate is up over 90%, and at the same time, in order to better meet the needs of consumers with high requirements around blood sugar management, the medical and food ingredients, mulberry leaf and corn silk, they have been added, and that gives even a better effect, and that's also recognized among the targeted consumer groups. And we have selected those based on a careful selection process, which ingredients can best be used for this purpose.
Can we discuss how Yili's European Innovation Centre cooperates with the headquarters and its key research direction?
Yeah, it's almost it's about 9 years ago that Yili established the R&D Center in the Netherlands, and it was since then officially upgraded to Yili European Innovation Center in 2018. And as I mentioned, we are based in Wageningen, on the campus of Wageningen University, and that's Europe's top university in the field of life sciences, and the global number one in the area of agriculture. And through the ecosystem here, we cooperate with more than 15,000 researchers in what's called Europe's Food Valley. And that means that there are life science institutes, the University of Groningen is there, the Technical University of Munich, German Institute of Food Technology we work with, TGASC in Ireland, and quite a few other universities and so forth, which I cannot all list here. But the thing is, we are in the middle, you could say, of a large ecosystem, which many universities, institutes, and suppliers all be present there. And our activities, our research activities, they cover life sciences, nutrition and health, new technologies in food safety, food technologies, and so forth. And the aim is to explore the latest cutting edge new things which can be used at the end of the day by our mother company in China. So our goal is to connect the new insights and identify opportunities and discuss those with our colleagues in China. discuss this with the business units, and evaluate how and where we can use these new insights. And if needed, we patent these things as well and publish also results in scientific journals. Human milk oligosaccharides are saccharides found in breast milk, but they are hardly present in bovine milk. And that means that it would be very nice to have them also in infant formula, which is made of bovine milk. Now, the new development was that there were a couple of companies using precision fermentation to make these ingredients. And from our center, we teamed up with a few of them and to explore the possibilities of getting these ingredients also available for the Chinese market. So that way we connected the cutting edge new companies with the business unit in China who's in charge of making infant formulas. And we are then the sparring partner between them. And we also put up a lot of research activities in this field to really build a case that we really know a lot more about the benefits of having HMOs in products. And that's still ongoing, of course, and quite a few publications and patents and so forth have been obtained from the work we did in Europe and as well as together with our colleagues in China.
Yes, so the cultivated sort of food and beverage industry is definitely emerging. How does Yili's European Innovation Centre combine overseas innovation trends with consumer demands?
In general, you see a couple of big trends which are heading up. Think about in the area of nutrition, sugar reduction. I mentioned already the Shua product, but in general, sugar reduction is a very important field where we have to dive into and better understand how to do that and still keep a nice product in terms of taste, of course. We look into high protein products because protein is good. We look in more natural ingredients, organic ingredients, clean label, as it is called. And we do that for a number of products. And satine was mentioned before, but that's also a nice example where we are using organic, pure milk as the basis. Getting more transparency. So in Yili, we have established a full process monitoring system where we ensure that every drop of milk can be traced back from the source to the end product. I mentioned already sustainability. We have launched a range of net zero carbon factories at the moment and net zero carbon products. And there you could still say we are in the beginning but a very fast moving in that direction and we get to a full sustainable future.
So would you be able to introduce your latest research results of the European Innovation Centre and what the focus of the research and development is for 2023?
There was a question from the business unit, liquid milk, to produce a milk for the Chinese market containing lactoferrin. Lactoferrin is a protein which is present at very low amounts in milk, and it helps to boost your immunity. As you can imagine, under the COVID situation, the need for boosting immunity is very high. So therefore, we looked into, can we develop a product, a milk, with a higher level natural lactoferrin, which could then boost immunity. And we got a question as Innovation Center, can you showcase that this makes scientifically sense? And that's what we have done. We have looked in together with our network. We wrote a review paper collecting all the data in this area, and there is quite a bit of work done by the different universities and so forth in this field. That was published. That was also presented at conferences and so forth, and that helped to support the marketing team of the business unit when the product was launched in the market. In general, if you look at 2023, where our efforts will be, another area which is to be expected to further grow in China is the area of cheese products. Cheese is virtually not consumed in China. The consumption levels of cheese is still very, very low. But cheese is very much appreciated. And the thing is a bit, how can we develop the category of cheese products fitting the Chinese consumer? And for that, we have now invested in it. We have now built our own laboratory and pilot plant in Wageningen to help the business unit in developing new types of cheese for the Chinese market. There's a lot of cheese knowledge in countries like the Netherlands, as you can imagine. How can we use that and convert that into products which would fit for the Chinese market? And that's one of the big challenges our team has for the coming year. I think it's very nice to see, if you look at a market like the Asian markets in general, but China in particular, how much opportunities there are in the field of dairy and how well dairy is perceived as a healthy product, a nutritious product, and what it is, of course. And therefore, if you look for the future, I believe there are still great opportunities in further building that market. And the challenge is to do that in a sustainable way, as mentioned before, and to do it in ways that we can come up with really nice new creative products which really surprise consumers in a positive manner. That the overall increase of dairy consumption will also increase that way. And I think Yili is the number one player in that area. So it's our obligation to make this work. And I think with that we have some very nice challenges, exciting times ahead of us.
Absolutely, it's always good to be challenged. Well, thank you very much for joining me today. And I really do look forward to hearing about all of the new innovations and trends that will be coming out of Yili in the 2023 year.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you very much.